Is New Junk City really that bad? After Flashpoint's release, everyone seems to love Flashpoint. No, everyone seems to hate it, and the main complaint is that it takes so long to get from spawn to the point, and you end up running around for most of the game. Now, while I think that a lot of that contributes to running from one point to the next point, which I'm not going to test in this video, I think a lot of it comes from just walking back from spawn to the point, which is probably the worst part, right? You're dead, you want to get back in the fight, you want to keep playing, and then boom, you have to walk for 20 seconds from spawn, right? So in this video, we're going to look at the time to get back to point and the time to get back into a fight of New Junk City compared to other maps. So what you're going to see is, initially I spent a lot of time going from the start of spawn to the new map, but I eventually transitioned into just going from where I spawn, because as you'll see a little bit later, some of the points it spawns you so far back where it takes you literally 7.5 seconds to reach the spawn doors. If you spawn closer to the points for some of these, it would take so much shorter to actually get to the point, but you're kept by spending 7 seconds in spawn running to the spawn door. I'm also doing all my tests for this on Ana, just because she walks grandma speed, normal walking speed, nothing fancy, no abilities, nothing, just walking, right? I'm going to flash up on the screen now. The time it takes to walk to the point, I'm going to call it the time to touch every point from respawning. Not from the door, from respawning. So for Arena on Team 1 and Team 2, for Team 1 and Team 2, it's the same exact point, completely mirrored, so it's 20.5 seconds I found. For Refinery, for Team 1 is 21.5 seconds, and for Team 2 it's 21 seconds. For the Ducks, it's 20.5 seconds, and then for Team 2 it's 21 seconds. For Bomb Flats, it's 21 seconds for Team 1. Team 2, it's 19.5 seconds. And then Junkyard, for Team 1, it's 19.5 seconds, and Team 2, it's 21 seconds. And this kind of averages out to about 20.6 seconds to touch for both sides, actually, which I thought was kind of impressive, but I guess it makes sense. Even though the points are different for each spawn, it's not completely mirrored. I also want to clarify what I mean by time to engage. Time to engage is, most of the time you're not going to be running straight from spawn, dropping to the point. You're going to be running from spawn to wherever your team is engaging, whether that be you're going back to the high ground, or whether you're getting an angle on main or whatever. So I'm gonna be flashing up some spots on screen while I'm doing this, but these are the spots that I'm using to measure the time to engage throughout points. It's kind of just like whenever you can see the fight, you know. On Arena, it takes for both teams 16 seconds to engage, and then for the rest of the points, there's generally 2 different points you engage from. Usually there's a high ground and there's just running it down main, right? So for Refinery, it takes from 16 seconds to 18.5 seconds for that's Team 1. Team 2, it takes 15.5 seconds to 18.5 seconds. So a little faster for just running in main for that one. For the Ducks, on Team 1, it takes 16 seconds to about 18 seconds to get into the team fight. And then for Team 2, it takes from 17 seconds to 18 seconds to engage. For Bomb Flats, Team 1, it's 18 seconds, 21 seconds. And then for Team 2, it's 16 seconds to 18.5 seconds. And then for Junkyard, for Team 1, both paths I found were like 18 seconds on Team 1, and then Team 2, it's from 19 to 20 seconds. The averages for these in general, for Team 1, the average time to engage across all points going through both different paths is about 17.5 seconds, and for Team 2, it's about 17.45 seconds. So it's pretty much the same, probably a little bit of human error in there as well. So we kind of have this general number is that it takes about 20.6 seconds to touch point from respawning, and then 17.5 seconds to get back into the fight while respawning. Now, taking these numbers, and let's do the exact same test, at least for time to touch, because I think that I'm kind of running out of patience at this point, but for time to touch on all the other different control maps, I'm not going to test hybrid or push. I think that those could be a separate video in and of themselves, but because Flashpoint's so similar to control in nature, I think it's very valid to compare it here. I only did the old, like the Overwatch 1 control maps, because I think that maybe comparing Flashpoint with the new maps would kind of have that carryover of the new Overwatch philosophy. So I just wanted to do these as a solid control. Maybe we'll do the new maps later on, but this just felt reasonable. So for these maps, we have Busan, Ilios, Lijiang, Nepal, and Oasis. And here's just going to be the summary on screen. For Busan, it's an average of 16.5 seconds to touch. Ilios is 18.3 seconds to touch. Lijiang is about 17 seconds to touch. It's actually 17 seconds on every map I've found most efficient, which is kind of interesting. Nepal was 17.5 seconds, and Oasis was 17.3 seconds. This comes out to an average about 17.3 rep per 10 for the time it takes to touch on every point in control. Compare this to our 20.6 second to find times touch on Mujong City, and you're spending about 3.3 extra seconds per death walking back the point. So let's say you get like 8 to 10 seconds a game, you're spending about an extra 30 seconds walking back the point that you wouldn't be spending if you're playing control. And 30 seconds is not that much, but in the course of a competitive game where games are only about 10 minutes, that's relatively a lot of time. It's only about 5% extra time, 30 seconds of a presumably 10-minute game. And Flashpoint games are a little longer, but this time being so miserable because you're literally just walking back from spawn makes it definitely rough for the average player, right? You're spending 5% of your time that you'd rather be spending in a fight, getting kills, healing your team, using your ult, doing all that fun shit, and you're just walking, and that's not fun at all. But it's not that different from your average map, in my opinion. So do these maps get a lot of hate? Yeah, for sure. Is it warranted? I'd say it's about 5% warranted. If I were to fix it, I know that they're going to make some changes. I know what one of the things they're going to do is make it so that that doesn't give you the farthest possible place away if you cap point. So if you cap point in the bottom left, it's not going to give you top right again. Like if you get bomb flat, it's not going to give you the ducks because these are the two furthest points away from each other. And that's going to mitigate the effect that I didn't talk about, which is walking between points, because within that we can test that afterwards, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be, in my opinion, and it still sucks. Well, I think the easiest fix for this is just making it so that on the points where you're spawning in the base spawn, not the forward spawn, the original spawn, you don't spawn super far back in the point. You should spawn towards the front, like you do when you initially load into the map, because it spawns you further back when you are getting different points than when you initially spawn in. Doing that, and then maybe increasing the time that you have the movement speed out of spawn. Because if they just bump that up a little bit, they only have to make up 3 seconds, right? That's all they have to make up. That's all they have to make. If every point was 3 seconds faster, like Arena is 20.5 seconds. If they cut that down by 3 seconds, it would be in line with the other map, which is kind of this generally 17.3 measurement, right? And if you do this to all these, Arenas would be turned into 17.5, Refinery turned into 18.5, the Ducks turned into 17.5, Bomb Blast turned into 18, Junkyard turned into 16.5. This would be perfect, and the average would be 17.6, which is a lot more reasonable, 20.6. I think that would be the general fix for it. Yeah, that's your math for this video. I spent about 2 hours just because I saw a Reddit post and I was kind of like, no way, it's that much worse, right? But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me. At the Wrecking Ball, I'm hopefully uploading another Wrecking Ball video soon. Stay tuned for that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed and hope you have a good day. Thank you very much. I don't know, outro or something?